There are two Americas, and you probably in the second one if you're watching this video. Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. Now, if you're a student of history, you'll know that Martin Luther King, in his last days, started making speeches entitled, "There are literally two Americas." Of course, his answer was communism because he was a communist. Surprise, surprise. Most people don't know that. No, I'm not talking about socialists. He was a communist, straight communist. Rosa Parks, all of them. They were plants. When people ask me, what's your beef against Martin Luther King Jr.? Well, that one for one. No, I have not taken a look at his speech other than to see a quote talking about the poor, and he tugged at your heartstrings. I'm not here to tug at your heartstrings. If you cry, it's because of your own personal issues that you've seen and witnessed, and probably I remind you of those issues. But nothing I say is going to make you cry. Nothing I say is going to make you angry. Nothing I say is going to make you happy. Just the facts, ma'am. 10 cool points if you actually leave a comment saying where that quote is from. And now that I mention it, be sure to engage with the video. YouTube and the advertisers love engagement. They want you to be actively pressing buttons. They want you to click the like, the unlike, the comment, the subscribe, the notification bell, the share, all of that stuff. They want you active. I want you active. I like you leaving lots and lots of comments. I'll respond to most of them, unlike a lot of other YouTubers who are so big that they can't respond. I respond. I've looked at all the data, all the news, all the reports. There are definitely two different Americas. And what's crazy is it's not strictly based on money. It's based on status in society. So yes, you can have money, and I'm talking about have money, and still not be into the first America. There's the first America where nothing really affects them. None of the news touches them. And they really aren't so much affected by ups and downs in the country, in the economy. If anything, they ride the waves to see if they can make money off of it. Hey, maybe this downturn is going to mean I'm going to make... You know who said they made a lot of money and you didn't catch it? Dave Ramsey. He said, "Oh, that Obama recession, we made so much money. So much money." Okay. Didn't your boy Jesus throw people out of the temple for making money? Right there in the temple? There's the second America that is affected by every minor detail of the ups and downs in America. If you're a fast food worker all the way up to a fast food owner, you're almost taken out by the same happenings. You're on lockdown, lose your job. Oh, you're on lockdown, lose your store. Hold on, there's a third America, which is the underclass that nobody talks about. But they're so miserable that nothing affects them, negative nor positive. They're just miserable. They have a miserable life. And guess what? Not to pull at your heartstrings, these are the facts. Black people who literally destroy the bottom rung of all economic charts. And there's no reason for that. Let me repeat that. There's no reason for that. Between all the groups in the United States, black and white are almost the same. Almost. They have the same outlook, the same culture, the same society, almost the same. Yet the powers that be keep trying to invite other people, and then when they talk about people of color, they mean everybody else but black people. This is a financial set aside for people of color. Hey, black people, that means not you. They're putting aside money for people to open businesses. That means not you. Wake up. Why am I yelling? Because black people, when they want to form a group and actually get off of their butt and form a group and do some activism, they always say, you know what? Let's invite the other people of color. And you know what, black people? That means that group is no longer for you because the people of color are gonna come in and take control. Oh, not their own control. Some white person somewhere is gonna insinuate themselves into your little group for people of color and say, why should you get all the... Wait a minute. You formed your group for black people originally. All of a sudden, here comes the Indians. I'm not talking about Native Americans. I'm talking about the Asians. Here come the Asians. Here come the Latinos. And black people, you're squeezed out of your own group. Hello, let's talk about Black Lives Matter just for a second, people. Black Lives Matter was started by the sister of the lady whose son was killed in Ferguson, right? That's the history, right? That thing was taken over almost immediately. She, the sister of the lady, sold some t-shirts, made a bunch of money, and then George Soros stepped in, took it over, and today Black Lives Matter stands at something like 90% white. Not Latino, not Asian, not black, white. So just because it says Black Lives Matter doesn't mean it's about black people. I'm trying to tell you folks what the deal is. Let's continue on. For the most part, the first America can't be touched and they can't fall off of their perch. The entire system could crash and they still wouldn't be affected. That's how out of touch and out of reach First America is. What's funny is the police, which the Second America rails against, are in the Second America, right with them. Police are serfs. For you all who don't know, let me give you a little bit of history lesson just for 2 seconds. Serfs were the people that the Lord directly controlled. They weren't slaves, but they directly controlled. The Lord put them on the land, put them in a house, and they were supposed to work the land with crops and what have you, and the Lord would come and take all of the crops, and then the Lord would feed the serfs. So the life of a serf was servitude. A step up from that, a very giant step up from that, were peasants. People keep using the word peasant wrongly. They mean to say serfs. Peasants were free. However, that freedom had everything you could imagine that the word freedom actually means. A peasant had to fend for themselves, had to feed themselves, had to do crops for themselves, had to find a house for themselves, had to buy clothes from themselves. Some peasants came from peasant families that were very wealthy. That moved, and they were so wealthy, they distanced themselves by calling them the merchant class. They were just peasants. If you were not nobility, you were a peasant. If you were free. So if I call you a peasant, I mean you're a free person. I mean you're not nobility. If I really want to insult you, I'll call you a serf. We got that all squared away? Police are serfs, just like the fast food workers. They're told the other Second America are the enemy and they are sick on us. The police are told that the other people of the Second America are the enemy. Go fetch them. Go get them. Go get them. Just like I tell my dog. What's terrible is that they don't hire any police smart enough to change their own internal system. And I know police. You all think I don't know police. I know police. Like personally, I know people who are police. Have conversation with them. And most of them who talk to me, because I only tolerate a certain level of intelligence around me, all either quit, about to retire, and all say it is terrible. The one that was retiring, old guy, It's not like it used to be. You don't know what they're teaching in the academy. They need to revamp the entire system. There's a bunch of hotheads who are police. They hire them, and the entire environment for police is a bunch of hotheads. And they reward the hotheads. Why? Because police are sick on the second America. But they're retiring. They can't do anything. The DA and the judges are no better. They just have different training. They're still in the second America. Law school does not make you smarter or better. Remember, ambulance chasers are lawyers too. And I don't think you would hold a conversation with an ambulance chaser lawyer and come away thinking, well, that guy is a genius. He's really got it going on. No, he's in it for the money and that's it. He doesn't care about people. He's in it for the money. Do not get it twisted. Divorce and family courts are all in the second America stuff. There's a secret court. I'm going to tell you something right now. There's a secret court that the powerful goes to. They don't even have to deal with divorce like the regular peasants have to deal with divorce. All of you all who have been divorced, I already know. Family law was my most hated subject in law school. And I took it twice. I had to take it twice because I did a pre-law thing, then I had to take it 3 times. I did a pre-law thing, then I did a law school scholarship thing where I actually went to law school to receive a scholarship to go to law school. It's just all twisted. And then I went to law school and I took it again. And trust me, as a law school student in law school, all you read are the worst of humanity. It's the absolute worst. Now, police have it bad because all they deal is the worst of humanity. The problem is police cannot distinguish between a regular citizen and a criminal because they're told everybody's your enemy. Black guy walking down the street, he doesn't know that that is the CEO of an actual banking corporation. Slams him into the ground, breaks his nose. And then when the investigation about the entire incident comes to a conclusion, the police is completely exonerated. He learns nothing from the incident. Hey, you violated a CEO of a bank. You didn't just violate a black guy, you violated a CEO of a bank. The policeman learns absolutely nothing. And guess what? Not to make it a money thing, the same police sees a white guy. He doesn't know that the white guy actually owns a garage door installation company. Same thing. Throws him to the ground, breaks his jaw, breaks his nose, because he thinks everybody's the enemy. He's a serf. He's not even a peasant. He's a serf. And that's the problem in the United States. They sick the serfs on the peasants and tell the serfs they're all your enemy. They're all. And here's the problem. When this bank CEO sues the city and gets his $1 million or $2 million or $4 million, and the garage door opener guy sues the city and gets $1 million, none of them say, we have 1 million reasons to fire your candy butt off of the police force. No, doesn't happen. And let me tell you something. All of this I hear from my police friends, but they can't say that. They can't say that. The one police friend threw a guy on the hood of a cruiser, and when he got back to the department, everybody stood up and clapped. Finally, you busted a creep. He said he lost his control because the guy who was like jaywalking, whatever it was like jaywalking around, but he had a long day, blah, blah. He lost control and he threw the guy on the hood of the car in handcuffs because the guy was being smart to him. He was jaywalking. He literally said he was jaywalking. I'd be smart too. And he said, and then I quit and I went to law school. And that's why I'm here in law school. That's my story. He says the entire department stood up and clapped for him because he had not lost his cool up to that point. And they were afraid he might be some sort of turncoat or something or whatever. Will there ever be a revolution to tear down the first or the second America? Probably not, because you're always going to have some idiot that will backstab you for money or for some reason. If you plan to take police to court or judges to court or politicians to court and you're planning all this in secret, we're going to have a massive lawsuit. Everybody's going to start suing the police for all of their misconduct. Everybody's going to start suing the judges for their conflict of interest. Everybody's going to start suing the politicians for listening to the special interest groups that pay them millions of dollars. And we're going to sue in court and make all of that public knowledge. You're going to have some lawyer squeal on you. Or the good police siding with the bad, thinking he's protecting police from the purge. He's literally too stupid to understand that his entire training is suspect and nonsense. And you can't explain to him that black men are 7 times more likely to be convicted while innocent. Oh, this isn't Shakaama talking. You could go look that up. Type that into your Google search. In fact, you can't even explain that to normal Americans, that black men are 7 times more likely to be convicted. I'm not talking about arrested. I'm talking about convicted. Go through the whole process, the evidence, proof, trial, the whole 9 yards, and convict a guy and convict a man, a black man, 7 times more than innocent white men. Oh, that's the other part of it. Innocent white men are convicted too. Here's another fun fact you might not know. There's 6 white men to every 1 black man. When we start looking at the police data for white men, we see a very nasty little statistic. You see this whole Black Lives Matter junk? And it's trash. It's garbage. You see that whole junk? Let's look at the white data just for a second, people. Come with me. Have a little patience. White men are 3 times more likely to be shot and killed, or killed, I don't know about shot, killed than black men. 3 times. They outnumber us by 6, so it should be absolutely not a shocker that white men are 3 times more likely to be killed by police than black men. Black people are concentrated in the southeast of the United States. The fact that you have any incidents at all in other states should be amazing to you, but the news has made it not amazing. The news has made it their duty to make sure that they report every black man for doing anything ever. The reputation of black men is so in the gutter that the news literally brings out the latest story committed by whites, Asian, Latinos, and instead of blame it on the actual black man. I've caught them myself, and the entire world buys it. I've caught the fact checkers lying. The fact checkers. YouTube, I'm talking to you. Twitter, I'm talking to you. Google, I'm talking to you. The fact checkers lie. A bunch of liars. If you ever need a fact, come to Shakaama. I will tell you the fact. No matter how embarrassing it is, but trust me, I don't get embarrassed. I have 0 feelings. I don't have a heart. You can always come to me and ask me for actual fact. All to continue the second America. And no one is more traitorous than black women themselves. Never understanding they're murdering their own reputation in the process of putting down black men or blaming black men. I've even seen black women blame their ex or their husband or their boyfriend for something that an actual robber did, and the robber was actually white. And the husband or the ex or the boyfriend weren't even around. But she's so hell-bent on getting back at her ex, or she's just mad at her boyfriend for the day. Or she's just mad at her husband for the day, which means she shouldn't be married to begin with. And men, gentlemen, You need to actually determine, is this woman worth marriage? Worth. Yes. And for all of you women who say, well, men aren't worth being married. Well, sorry to tell you, but marriage is determined by men. It's not determined by women. Stop getting it twisted. I'm not married because I haven't met anybody I felt was worth marrying. Not that they didn't feel. Trust me. I've been asked. I've been asked many times. In fact, at one point of this YouTube career, I was asked on a weekly basis. Marriage is determined by men. It's not determined by women. Get that out of your head. Don't even. You're not even in a consideration of marriage. Anybody telling you differently is lying to you. It's feeding you a bunch of garbage. Any man that you would ask to marry and he said yes, he's not worth marrying, and you're definitely not worth marrying. Any man that you would ask to marry and he said yes, that's a disaster waiting to happen. And if my daughter ever came to me and say, I'm going to ask John to marry, I'd be like, okay, we need to start back from square one. Because obviously I have failed as a parent to train you properly of how to be a woman. I got a woman story for you for this stuff, this stupidity going on. Second America tactics. Keep the dogs fighting amongst themselves. Look at this. This virus thing that had businesses shutting down for good, right? But look at this. Same type of shop, same product, same goods and services, same exact type of shop. One shuts down after 20 years in business, which if you ever told somebody you've been in business for 20 years and they were an entrepreneur or a business owner, they'd be applauding you, right? I've been in business for 20 years. They'd be applauding you, right? The other shop doesn't close down. Now, answer me why. How's that possible? Same location, foot traffic, all of the data, all of the market research for where it should be, all of it is perfect. Same. One shop closes, the other one doesn't. How is that? It's First America versus Second America. And the Second America shop is so angry he can't even see what the First America shop did better or differently. He won't even look. He's all in his feels and is angry if anyone says anything. Now, of course, I'm talking about somebody specific. This entire example is a very specific. I forget the person's name, but it's very specific. And when the person contacted and said, I have the same exact shop, we didn't close. He didn't want to hear it. He didn't even want to talk to the guy. Guy's offering free advice. He didn't want to talk to him. Shop owners, policemen, black women, all stuck in Second America mindset and don't even know it. The only answer is to make a real cancel culture. In the 1950s, there really was a cancel culture or a culture of Karens. Politicians walked on thin ice, as did policemen and government officials, because the population was smarter and tougher and more together. We were divided and led to slaughter. We now can't come together on anything. Know your enemy. Why do I say know your enemy? Because I'm leaving comments on YouTube and say, well, you black people say, ho, 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 ho. Know who your enemy actually is. Don't come at me because I'm black. I'm not even going to go there, first of all, of you trying to say that because you're black, such and so applies. You need to know your enemy. You need to know. Well, we need to separate blacks versus whites. You need to understand that the white guy that you are talking about, you're going to go separate with him, is a filthy communist, is a filthy socialist. You're going to separate with him? You don't even have anything in common with him. And he doesn't have anything in common with you. Let me tell you my little woman story. So, this was one of those protests. I'm a speaking code, everybody. This was one of those protests. And they had locked arms across the sidewalk in the street. Guy is on his way to work. Big guy. They are all wearing black masks. You know who I'm talking about. So he says, get out of my way. Gotta go to work. Get out of my way. Gotta go to work. Get out of my way. Gotta go to work. And they say, no, no, no. And then they start pushing him back. So he cold cocks one of them. And so then they all take out their mask and they take off the mask of the person that he socked. And they said, you hit a woman. He says, no, I didn't hit a woman. You were all wearing masks and you're wearing all bulky clothes. I can't tell one from the other. Do not pull this woman stuff. If she were a real woman, she'd be at home watching this on TV because that's what a real feminine woman would be doing. She would not be on the front lines of your little activism, dealing blows and taking blows. Huh? Huh? You've messed with her brain so much she doesn't even know her place. You can't then turn around and claim she's a woman. No. And when I say know your place, I mean it in the most positive possible way possible. My daughter would not be on the front line wearing some black mask and some bulky black clothing talking about do this or do that or chant, chant, chant. No. I'd be like that mom in Baltimore who beat up her son and said, get home. I'm not going to have you shot by these idiots. Yes, well, my daughter wouldn't be in that situation because she would be at home right next to me talking about Vector 2 past 40. How do I 3D model this? Exactly, right? We'd be doing something. I don't watch TV. I don't even own a TV. My daughter wouldn't be doing any of that stuff. We'd be a part of the first America, if possible. If at all possible, we'd be a part of the first America. That's my little woman story for you. In the 1950s, America was a different place. The politicians walked on thin ice because the people, the population, were well informed. Oh, they knew your reputation. And the media made sure you knew the politician's reputation, everything that they possibly did, and you knew the reputation of the police, and you know knew the reputation of every policeman. That one ain't right. Get him off the force. He's not right. Get him off the force now. Get him off the force. He's gonna do something as a civilian, and then we'll deal with it. He'll be thrown under the jail. First, get him off the force. Now they don't even want to fire the people. In fact, they don't even, their investigations are done. Oh, yeah, that was proper use. Proper use? You went to the wrong house and did this, that, and the other to the wrong people completely. You found zero evidence in the house. That should have clued you in that, oh, maybe we got the wrong place. Well, based on our information, maybe based on your information, people are lying to you because you're police. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about perhaps you shouldn't be in the information gathering sector because you're not trusted? You should leave the information gathering to agencies who deal in information gathering, like the CIA, other alphabet soup type of agencies. Yeah? Police are not known for gathering good information. And in the United States, you're not even respected as policemen by other foreign countries with policemen. The Japanese think you're a joke. You don't even catch criminals. The Japanese catch criminals. They have something like a 99% success rate at catching people doing crime. What you need to do is go over to Japan, learn how to be a police, and then come back. Or have all of the police trainers in Japan come over here and train you all how to be police because you're utter failure. You're contributing to the destruction of the American society. You policemen are contributing to the destruction of the American society. Now, understand, I have a vast perspective on policemen. I have nothing against you. You're serfs. I know your role. I know who you are. You're not district attorneys. You're not lawyers. You're not judges. You're just police. And in fact, even the best and brightest of you, your lieutenants and your inspectors, I'm missing the word, who actually do investigation, still pale in comparison to anything else. And the private sector outdoes you nine times better, right? 900% better. Private police why are they 9 times better than the public police? Why? Now, the Karens of today get people fired and arrested, or even worse, because she thinks that she has been offended, right? The Karens of the 1950s got people fired because they were corrupt politicians and corrupt policemen and corrupt district attorneys. We do need to go back to the good old days when women fought for truth and justice and the American way, just like the men. No, we're not talking about social justice warrior. We're talking about truth and justice and the American way. The social justice people don't even like America. I invite you all to leave America. If I had the money, I'd give you a ticket to whatever country you would want to go. And please, it could not be Canada or Mexico. I don't even want you on this continental strip. The women of the 1950s weren't selfish. And they weren't so selfish that they stabbed their own husband because a feminist controller told her to. There are literally two Americas. And this virus thing showed you exactly how bad it is, if you were paying attention. The revolution will not be televised. Thank you all for watching.